Right, so many Kenyans are familiar with this next story. Spending all your money in December and surviving on little leads to regrets in January. It is a cycle that is repeated over and over every year, with many holding on to the belief that this is the natural cycle of things. Financial experts, however, hold that setting aside a small amount every month until the festive season rolls around could make January easier to survive. KTN's Wilkis Tanyabwa now reports on how to break the cycle of financial woes that come with January.
During the festive season, days seem to fly off the calendar, but days in January stretch out as if to make up for this. This owing in part to the January blues, for if December is the month of festivities, vacations and parties,
it was nice because there was money. We celebrated when we went for Christmas holidays.
Then January is a month of penance, where many must wean themselves of pleasures that they cannot afford until they receive their next paycheck. A significant portion often surviving on a shoestring budget, others seeking credit facilities from willing lenders.
When it comes to January, it is a struggle to pay school fees, to pay bills, to pay rent. So it is so difficult, it can be bad. I've heard of people, almost all my friends, everybody is running around to look for credit from some people, from banks, from Shylock.
Find by the time we're going into Christmas, people already have the salaries in their account, but that salary is supposed to last until the end of January. But in the hype of celebration, Christmas, traveling, holiday, spending time with family and friends and relatives, people start eating up into that money that should really be there to cater for January expenses.
While a pay increment may seem welcome during a month where expenses seem to overtake incomes, financial experts say the secret to surviving January lies in getting financially organized and starting to save for the end-year festivities at the beginning of the year. The first step would then be tracking one's expenses versus one's income in order to decide just how much one can afford to put aside. Washeke Nduati runs 10-week courses where she teaches Kenyans how to manage their finances. She advises that one should place a standing order for the various recurrent expenses, such as rent or school fees, so that they are never caught flat-footed.
So school fees needs to be treated like a monthly expense. So just an example, if your school fees is going to be 60,000 shillings in a year, you actually need to put aside 5,000 shillings away and treat it the same way you'd treat a rent or an electricity bill. Let it go somewhere separate, not in your everyday current account, so that by the beginning of term, the fees is actually there.
And once one has a rough estimate of how much they will need at the end of the year, they can then decide what sacrifices to make in order to reach their goals.
So say you're spending 300 shillings on lunch every day. In 30 days, you have spent 9,000 shillings. In a year, you have spent 108,000 shillings. So in December, that 108,000 shillings can meet school fees, can pay your debts.
Saving for January is a trend that is becoming common among Kenyans who have learnt the lesson the hard way and have now devised ways to beat the January blues. For example, among those with young children for whom Christmas means gifts and good times.
If I have to do shopping for my family, I don't do it during Christmas holiday. I do it early. Like, let me say, during the month of August, during the month of September. That's why when I buy clothes for my children, for example, because like, with the children, unless you buy them a Christmas gift or a Christmas something, they don't really appreciate. So you do your shopping early.
While in the face of fares that are likely to skyrocket as urban dwellers head up country.
You can book before that when the fare is normal. But when you wait when it is rush, you pay 2,500 or even 3,000.
January often means school fees, and parents of older children have learned a valuable lesson about paying this early.
When schools close down during the month of November, you are given a fee structure for different schools where your children goes to school. So what you do when you have money, you deposit on the account early, so that come January you have the banking slip.
And should one come into a little more money than usual, it can go a long way towards easing the January blues.
When a big bonus comes in, you've got to ask yourself, okay, I've received a big bonus, great, but what are the expenses I'm going to incur in January? If I'm going to pay school fees in January, there's really no point of me spending all my bonus. I'm not saying spending it is bad, but spending all my bonus and then in January I'm back to trying to borrow for school fees. It just doesn't make any sense.
So that when January rolls around again, Kenyans can view it as the beginning of new things and not the end of life as they know and love it. Wilkison Abwa, KTN.